good evening, everyone. So glad that you're able to join us. My name is Chris Pinello. I oversee communications for Great Oaks, the entire district. We'll get into what that means in a little bit, but I want to thank you for joining us tonight for this exciting live Q&A session. Tonight, we're going to do a deep dive into what's next and explore how we empower high school students to build a successful future through over 30 Great Oaks career programs. I'm joined by some incredible guests who will serve in various roles, and they'll share their experiences and what it means to take advantage of the opportunities offered at Great Oaks. And let's get started by having them introduce themselves. Who will I go to first? Let's go with my colleague, Jen Frith. There's Jen.
Hi. Again, my name is Jen Frith, and I am the career specialist at Live Oaks. Our Live Oaks campus is in Milford, Ohio. I've been with Great Oaks for 11 years. 10 years prior, I was the law enforcement instructor at Scarlet Oak. So I have the unique perspective of being a career tech instructor and a career specialist.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jen, for joining us. So the folks out there who are thinking about Live Oaks in particular, you'll have a lot of interactions with Jen in the coming weeks and months. Next, I'd like to go to another colleague who also cooks exquisite food, my friend Kyle. Kyle, please introduce yourself.
Hello, good evening. My name is Kyle Nard. I am the Culinary Arts and Hospitality Services instructor at Diamond Oaks on the west side.
Thank you, Kyle. Kyle's also an alum, by the way, so he's an alum and an instructor, and again, cooks really amazing food. We're also really thrilled this year to have a mother-son duo on to give their perspectives. Let's go to Tamika and Xavier.
Hi, my name is Tamika Gover, and this is my son, Xavier Stoneham. He is a senior at Scarlet Oaks.
Fantastic, and welcome to you both. We're really excited to have you. And then, and I've been at Great Oaks for about 3 years, and one of the first students that I encountered regularly, who was such a great advocate and spokesperson, is no longer a student, but is actually a young alum. Let me go to DJ.
Hey, how's it going? I'm DJ, and I went to Diamond Oaks and the construction and framing and finishing technologies.
What great, fantastic, and welcome to DJ. I should also mention online, we have some additional career specialists helping us out. Laura Domet from Diamond Oaks and Bill Davis from Laurel Oaks are here to help answer your questions in the chat. So we're really appreciative of them as well. And thanks to all of you for sharing and for being here and answering these questions. Tonight's session is all about you. We encourage everyone watching to ask questions and learn more. You can post your questions directly in the YouTube chat or connect with us on social media using the hashtag #AskGreatOaks. Pretty easy to remember, Ask Great Oaks. You can also send your questions via Snapchat at the handle Great Oaks, Ohio, and we'll do our best to answer them live. Before we hear from our panel, I'll give you a quick overview of Great Oaks. Then we'll dive into a conversation with our guests, including answering your questions. This is a great opportunity to discover everything Great Oaks offers, from our campuses to our wide range of career programs. Our hashtag there, Discover Your Greatness. You've probably seen that a few places. Let's go to the next slide, please. So Great Oaks covers a fairly vast territory. We cover 2,200 square miles of Southwest Ohio. And you see this map, the little blue dots are all of our feeder high schools. We have 36 affiliate high school districts. And then you'll see our 4 campuses placed there. Diamond Oaks over on the west side, Scarlet Oaks here in Sharonville, Live Oaks over in Milford, and then Laurel Oaks up in Wilmington. Our affiliate districts range from urban, suburban, rural, mostly in the Cincinnati market, but we do have a few school districts that are actually in the Columbus market. And we are a public school district affiliated with these 36 school districts. Next slide, please. Again, 4 great campuses, 1 Great Oaks. I love this. So there's, again, the facades there of Diamond Oaks, Laurel Oaks, Live Oaks, and Scarlet Oaks. Scarlet Oaks is actually where I am located this evening. But all the campuses offer a plethora of programs, but not all the same programs. And we'll get into that a bit as well. Next slide, please. So what is Great Oaks? I like this term, super electives. Great Oaks is the 4 campuses are high school for juniors and seniors. So you apply during your sophomore year and come for your junior and senior years. Half of your day is in the lab. That is what we call sort of the super elective, whether you're in construction technology or health technology. We'll get into some of the various programs. And the other half of your school day would be in academic classes. This is a public school district. You don't receive a diploma from the Great Oaks campus. It actually comes from your home affiliate school. We remain very close with all of our 36 affiliate school districts. Next slide, please. How much does Great Oaks cost? Well, this is the best news of all. There is no tuition for high school students attending Great Oaks. We are a public school district. There are also no fees. The only cost to a student typically would be the uniform cost, and there's even assistance available for students who are facing hardship there. We have state-of-the-art labs. It is all taxpayer supported and funded. Also, we have private businesses who make contributions, but Great Oaks is a public school district and there's absolutely no cost for high school. If you come back to us for adult education, it's not the same. There actually is tuition. So it's wonderful to take advantage of this while you can as a high school student. So juniors and seniors attending Great Oaks career campuses pay absolutely nothing in tuition. Does Great Oaks provide school bus service? Actually, the 36 affiliate school districts provide busing to the closest Great Oaks campus. Now, if you're wanting to get into a program that's not at the campus closest to your school district, we do offer shuttles. That Great Oaks does have buses that will shuttle students from one campus to another. As an example, here at Scarlet Oaks, we have a robotics program that is only offered at Scarlet Oaks. And I know this year, and featured in a video, we have a student from Wilmington, Ohio, who gets bused from Laurel Oaks to Scarlet Oaks to attend that program. Next slide, please. This is just a little reassurance, parents. Great Oaks is an excellent, excellent school district. These are all excellent campuses with fantastic teachers. And this is the report card to show for it. These are issued by the state of Ohio annually. And Great Oaks ranks at the very top. We are a 5-star school district, and you can see the various measures on this. This is also available on our website. I throw this in just to give some reassurances. We have excellent academic instruction and certainly top-notch career technical instruction as well. And we are all very, very focused on student success. Next slide, please. So I mentioned that not every program is at every campus. So this slide shows a breakdown of the different programs available at different campuses. Again, there are some feeder schools that are closer to, let's say, Diamond Oaks or Laurel Oaks, but that does not preclude you from attending one of the different other campuses if you're interested in a specific program. And I'll just mention, like, you look at Scarlet Oaks, for instance, I mentioned the robotics. There's also a fire program at Scarlet Oaks. It's only offered at Scarlet Oaks. Live Oaks has a aviation exploration program. It's only available at Live Oaks. And there are examples of that peppered throughout. So just to understand that not every single campus has every single program, but we do look forward to finding ways to accommodate students who are interested in that particular program, even if it's not the closest to their affiliate school. Next slide, please. Is that the end of the slides? Oh, next steps. This is really important, right? So our open house dates. We love doing this YouTube Live. We love the opportunity to answer your questions, but it's no substitute for actually getting into the campus facility, into the building, to talking to instructors, to seeing the labs and all their splendor. You see here the dates for the open houses, and I strongly, strongly encourage families to come out and actually see the state-of-the-art facilities. You'll also see the names here of our career specialists. Those are basically our admissions officers for the 4 campuses. I introduce you to Jen, who is on this YouTube Live with us. And I also mentioned that Laura and Bill are in the chat. These folks are really fantastic resources for you and can help answer questions. I also see here, apply first round application window closes February 4th. What does that mean? Because we often have more demand than we have available slots in several of our labs, we have a cutoff of February 4th to be included in a lottery. This is a blind lottery where a student is assigned a random number, and that determines who is into the program itself and who is waitlisted. If you apply after February the 4th, then you're not going to be in that lottery draw. There's still a chance you could come to Great Oaks. Applications will still be open. Some programs don't fill up right away, so there's be a good chance you could still attend at one of our campuses. But if you're looking for one of those programs that traditionally just always fills up, welding, for instance, cosmetology is another one. Those programs do fill up, and if you don't apply by 11:59 p.m. on February 4th, you will not be in the lottery draw. So emphasizing that it doesn't matter if you apply today or on February 4th. There's no special consideration before then. Everyone goes in at 11:59 p.m. on February 4th, and that's the group of prospective students that go into the lottery draw. All right, I think that's our last slide. It is. Excellent. Excellent. Well, again, emphasizing those open house events, and I'll talk about it a little bit at the end as well. But I want to go to some questions from our esteemed panel, and we're going to start with Xavier, who is a current student. This is exciting. So all of the prospective students and parents out there get to hear directly from one of our current students in this case. And Xavier, what were your initial thoughts about Great Oaks, and how did they shift after visiting the campus for the first time?
Can you say it again? I started lagging.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So what were your initial thoughts about Great Oaks when you came to visit, and how did those initial thoughts shift after visiting the campus for the first time? What were your first impressions of Great Oaks? And how did that evolve as you were going through the application process?
I went on a visit, and then I was talking to my lab teacher, and then he just made me wanted to come because he was making it seem fun and was telling me about the equipment and stuff. So then, like when I started school, I just started using the equipment, and I just started like enjoying working out there and stuff, and learning stuff about working out and stuff like that.
Fantastic. And you're in the exercise science program at Scarlet Oaks, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So you guys just got a brand new lab too, which I don't know if I guess you've seen it. It's just open right now. It's an incredibly beautiful new lab space. We call those big classrooms where we have the career tech programs. I'm using a little bit of lingo here. We call them labs. So Xavier goes to lab, and there's basically a huge room with these different kinds of tables and all of the exercise equipment. A lot of the students in your program, I imagine, are thinking about becoming trainers or physical therapists. Why did you ultimately choose Great Oaks?
I just played sports, and then it was upperclassmen that went to the Oaks, and they just talk about it. So I just went to go try it and like look at it and stuff.
And did you have initial reservations or concerns? I know that's a big decision, right? You were a sophomore in high school. You probably had a lot of friends at your home school, and suddenly you're talking about changing up and going to a different campus. What was that like? Did you make new friends? Did you already know some kids who were attending Scarlet Oaks?
Nah, I ain't know nobody. I just went to school the first day, and then like I was just talking to people and made friends.
That's fantastic. And I think that's what school is all about, right? You're learning, you're making friends, you're making those real connections. Are you still involved with your homeschool athletics?
Yeah, I play 3 sports still.
And that's something else to emphasize, is that our students actually do maintain those connections with their home school, whether that be athletics, theater, dance, band, choir. So you're still connected to go to attend dances and things. Students remain connected with their home schools. Tamika, as Xavier's mom, what were your first impressions of Great Oaks, and did you have any reservations?
Well, yeah. So he's been at the same school since kindergarten for the most part. So going to Great Oaks and looking in comparison to the school he came from, it was huge. There's like 400 kids in the high school that he attended. So it was a big difference. And that was one of the things he said at first, is like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get lost. It's pretty big. But I was familiar with the whole vocational idea because I went to vocational school. So I was excited to, for him to try to figure out which program that he would fit better in. And I'm very excited, very happy that he made the decision to go.
Wonderful. And as he's progressed through the program at Scarlet Oaks, how would you say the school, the people, the program, how has that impacted him from a mom's perspective?
Oh, I mean, everything that I have to say is positive. So his behavior from before he went to Great Oaks, he had a few behavior issues. Some of his grades were, not the best, but actually since he's been at the Oaks, he has improved tremendously. I've had some conversations with a few of his teachers, like, they were like, we haven't experienced that. Like some of the behavior issues that he had prior to going to the Oaks. So it's been a great experience, hands down. I mean, I would do it over and over again if I had the opportunity.
Tamika, has there been anything that surprised you about it? Something that you were not expecting?
I did not expect him to earn college credit. So he was telling me that, he's going to go to college. He said he wants to do physical therapy. So I did not know that he could, with all the certifications and everything that he's earned, that he'll be able to gain his associate's degree after going to school for 1 year. And then, I think it was like 3 years for your bachelor's. But just the fact that he's able to earn those credits that'll go towards his future now. And he has earned quite a few certifications as well so far. One of the certifications, he's a wrestler, and he was actually able to earn a certification as a ref. Is that what it is? Yeah, as a ref for wrestling as well. So I didn't expect that at all. But yeah, so everything, it's been a wonderful experience. And his lab teacher, I love him. He has the best personality. He engages the kids on a level that I'm just like, oh, wow. So yeah, it's all been exciting so far.
That's fantastic. I think it's true when you're in that career tech world, because you spend so much time with that lab instructor. I think develop mentorship as well. It's really half of the school day with that instructor. So you're really shaping young lives. And speaking of shaping young lives, I want to go to my good friend Kyle, who is, again, someone who went through Great Oaks as a student and now is shaping young lives and careers as a culinary instructor at our Diamond Oaks campus with the Carrot Cafe there, which is always, I recommend for dining when he does a serve. Kyle, with that unique perspective as both an alum and an instructor, what do you think makes teaching in a career tech high school so special?
I feel like teaching in a career tech high school is special because you get a group of individuals that traditionally feel like they can't function in an educational environment, and then they come to career tech and they thrive because they gain their independence, their self-reliance, and they get to discover their giftedness. So I feel like that's what makes it special.
In reflecting on your own experience at Great Oaks, how did it shape the the person that you are today?
Oh, it's 100%. The person I am today is because of the experience I had at Great Oaks. Prior to even getting accepted and going, this is over 20 years ago, my father was totally against me going to vocational studies because he grew up in Wilmington and they had Laurel Oaks, and he was, dead set. That's not where kids go. You can get this. That's where the kids that aren't going to make it. And so at the time, the resource officer for Scarlett, he attended my father's church, and he said, "Hey, no, sir, you need to come check it out. I promise it's not what," he said, "I understand where you're coming from, but it's not that thing of old." He said, "They push the kids to go to college." And so my experience at Scarlett Oaks helped me. I mean, when I went to school, I had my first semester covered just because, and I graduated early because of the experience at the Oaks, and also the relationships. I mean, currently the dean of my campus was my sociology college instructor in the program when I went to Scarlett. So it's cool.
Those connections just seem to remain. And Cincinnati is a big small town, I guess, in many respects. We maintain those connections.
For sure.
I know that you also go out of your way to help your students with job placement, and certainly the hospitality and restaurant industry is a very exciting industry. Talk about how you get some of your students placed, what kind of connections do you make, and how do you bring some of those professionals into your lab, into your kitchen?
Okay, so taking the mindset that fine dining is a lifestyle, that's personally branded, and so trying to teach the students where are you going to make the money. I always tell students when they come in for the tours or for various things, don't come in because your parent made you want this, or don't come based off of, you heard that the salary cap or the hourly wage is so high. If you're good at what you do, you make the money. With that, teaching the skill sets that are the foundation, but will always make them money. I had a chef and mentor years ago that told me, you can make all these elaborate things you can do. You can work for the Michelin stars. You can have all these accolades. But at the end of the day, you need a base foundation that's simple. And if you can always prepare something that's simple, you can always grow and build up on it. And so with that, teaching that to the students and imparting where are the best places that are going to help them be developed. What do you see, or how do you see yourself as the professional for our industry, a culinary professional? What is it that you want? And so with that, discussing with the kids first, or the students, and then deciding, where do you see yourself 2 years from now, 3 years from now? And that's how we're able to base job placement, because there's some students that say, hey, I enjoy catering. So we have to go with the round. Okay, well, let's talk to some catering companies that I feel like will fit your personality. Bringing in your network is easy when you have students that work hard, they're dedicated and show themselves. Now, every now and again, it's what it is. You have some that they may never go into the industry. They're just there, and they find after they completed the program that they're no longer interested, which is fine. They have that prerogative, but also you're wanting them to not settle. Because this is an opportunity for many of our students. They won't go to college. They won't further education afterwards. So we have to be mindful, and it's a very sensitive place because we are shaping them to go into their careers that will be their livelihood, possibly for the remainder of their life.
Yeah.
So,
and a lot of these are actually, these relationships with business and industry are formalized. We actually have business and industry advisory committees for each lab. So, bring in professionals that help shape that curriculum and help inform our instructors, like, this is what's actively happening out in the field. Thanks for sharing, Kyle. I want to go
to that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, to that point, just to make sure that we hit that, our industry professionals that help our buyout committees, they are so crucial and they're so important, not just for placing our students. What I love about, I found that talking to my colleagues, so it's not just culinary only, because the industries are so small as far as the network, if they don't have a position available, they know someone that does. And so with that, they come in and they let us know, we just got some new equipment in my lab. That Business Advisory Council is so crucial because they allow us to stay current, especially for myself. I still work in industry, but say if there's someone that's not, they're so crucial just to keep things current. That way our students are getting a quality education.
That is an excellent point, and it's universally true across the board for every type of lab at Great Oaks. I want to, we recently did a fantastic, I just love this project, where we captured student testimonials, one representing each of our high school programs. These are really, really short videos. They're all under 90 seconds, but I wanted to share with you one right now. This is a student named Gabe who is in our heavy equipment program at Live Oaks. And for a lot of kids, the heavy equipment program is really life-changing. Let's go to hear a little bit about Gabe's story.
My friend was a senior, and he actually came here, and he was just telling me it was a great opportunity to get a head start in life and, start your career. If I was to stay in Batavia, it would just be different. I would just, be graduating like a normal student and everything, just academic classes. But when I come out here, I'm getting certifications to actually go on and get a job in life and make money. During senior year, we're just actually trying to clean up the field to help with the junior projects. Yeah, we have a bunch of machines out here. And when you're in the cab, you get that feel of the machine. You kind of feel a little powerful when you're up in there, you know what I mean? Safety's always first. You make sure you have your seatbelt on, make sure you have the arms down before you do anything else. Make sure you watch your surroundings before you go anywhere. It's very fun in the cab, yeah. We have full-time placement in this lab. So 3 days of the week, you'll be going out to work. You work a normal shift, regular day, and then you get off and go home like you're a grown adult. 2 days of the week, you'll be coming in to actually do schoolwork and still come out to lab. When I turn 18, I'm hoping that my future is working in road work and get with the union. They pay very, very good. And I just want to be able to have a good retirement because heavy equipment is an amazing career.
Pursue your passions.
Play to your strengths.
Discover your greatness.
Does it look like Gabe's having a good time? I think it looks like he's having a really good time. Great kid. That's a great program. We offer heavy equipment at 3 of our campuses. I remember a couple of years ago hearing about a student who was on placement. So he'd already gotten some certifications, was already doing some work as a high school student. Parents came in to thank instructor and said, "This has changed our entire family's trajectory. He is making more money now in high school operating heavy equipment than we make. And we are so proud of him, and it is changing everything about our lives." And I just thought that was very moving and very telling. I want to go to my friend Jen Frith, who, again, our career specialist and former career tech instructor. And we had a question that popped up in the chat as well. Jen, how hard is it to apply to Great Oaks?
It's actually very, very easy. The application itself is just a few questions. I would say it takes less than 10 minutes to apply. You can go to greatoaks.com to find the application, or apply.greatoaks.com, and just fills in your personal information. And then you get to select 2 programs, your first choice program and your second choice program. So you can have 2 available options there.
Great. And as we mentioned earlier, Jen is not just a career specialist. She was a former law enforcement teacher. I believe they called her Mama Law. Yeah. And she was at Scarlet Oaks for a number of years, was a Gold Star nominee. Gold Star Chili does a teaching, honors teachers, and Jen went pretty far in that process. I think if she had won, she would have gotten a Gold Star franchisers. I'm not sure how that works exactly. But lifetime supply of chili. But you talk about some of the main advantages you've seen students leverage through the Great Oaks programs.
Absolutely. When they decide to come to Great Oaks and they take one of our programs, working through the 2 years being in the program, they're working towards a lot of different license and certificates that are going to better their chances at their career in the future. It's going to help them along the way, prepare them if they choose to go to college. So it's very well rounded for the different students that come to us and their different career paths. So we offer a lot of different programs and a lot of really important certifications. I think about like our health technology program. Those students can get certified in phlebotomy. They can do the clinical medical assistant, STNA. I mean, those are really important certifications that adults are getting, but our kids are getting them in high school and for free.
Yeah, that's pretty phenomenal. I know we offer health tech at all 4 of the campuses, and actually at Scarlet Oaks, there's even a health academy. So there are students who are getting practical nursing training at that particular campus, which is in high school. That's, if you know the medical field, that's unusual and pretty awesome. And the health tech programs in general are just outstanding. And in your experience, what are the main reasons students choose to attend Great Oaks?
I was the law enforcement instructor for 10 years. And I think through those years, having, a bunch of different kids come through, it's a lot of different reasons. Some kids just want to change. Some kids know exactly the career field that they want to get into. When you think about law enforcement, you've got a lot of the kids that say, I want to be a police officer, but they can't do that until they're 21. So we try to bridge that gap between, you're a high school kid, 16, 17, 18 years old. What are you going to do to bridge that gap until you can go to the police academy when you're 21? So just being able to network with professionals, and learn those really important job skills, those hands-on skills in the classroom. I usually will tell people, like, if you think about crime scene processing, my students over 2 years probably lift fingerprints 100 times. So when they do go to the academy, they're going to look like experts. When other people in the academy will have never done that, but my students have done it for 2 years. So just getting that hands-on skill, the skill building, and nowadays even the soft skills, just being able to speak to people, doing interview techniques and type things, just the communication, teamwork, all those things are going to make them better employees in the future.
We talked about the stigma a little bit. In fact, all the speakers have touched on it a little somewhat. And we think about the perceptions, certainly in my generation, of what it meant to go to vocational school, or career tech is what we refer to it these days. And the truth is, we're actually attracting a lot of the best and brightest students out of high schools who really are interested in those career-focused, we call the super elective.
Yes.
About what percentage of our students do go on to college?
Yeah, I don't know the current number, but I know last year it was about 50-50. And when I would look at my classroom, like I said, you would have the gamut of kids that wanted to go right into the workforce and had no interest in college. And then you had the other half. Like, I had some students that wanted to be psychologists. Some of them wanted to be attorneys. Some of them, wanted to go be clinical psychologists and whatnot. And they were using this as a foundation to better their career later. With our programs having CTAG, which are the college credits that are attached to those programs, it really does benefit everybody that attends.
And that's why our TV spots start with this: every journey is unique, because it's actually me saying that on there. So Jen, what are some common misconceptions about Great Oaks that you've encountered, and how do you address those as a recruiter, as an admissions officer?
Absolutely. When I was the law enforcement instructor, and we would have the parents and oftentimes the grandparents that would come in, and they were pretty stern, like, my kid's not going to come here, and it was that old school thought process of only the bad kids go, or only the kids who can't cut the mustard at a regular school, have bad grades or whatnot, attend. And it couldn't be farther from the truth. I mean, we have even with the doing admissions and looking through applications, we've got straight A students. We have, the National Technical Honor Society in our campuses. We have kids that are taking college, CCP classes and, college level classes. It runs the gamut, but that oftentimes it's just that old philosophy of, only the bad kids go, and like I said, that's the farthest thing from the truth. We have, and when you think about some of our some of our programs will get, 60, 70, 80 applications for 25 spots, because the word's starting to get out there that these programs are, incredible. You think about cosmetology, and those students within 2 years are getting their cosmetology license. I called for a student one day to find out how much it would cost to go to a cosmetology school, and it was like $30,000. And it's like just showing people that you can save your kid, you can give them a leg up, you can save them so much money and let them start earning that money earlier by going to a career tech school and getting the
free in high school. It's extraordinary. That's a STEM program. People
Yes.
don't realize all the time that cosmetology is actually a STEM program. They have to learn about physiology and chemistry. It's a fantastic program and one of the most popular and offered at all 4 campuses.
Absolutely.
And talk to me about academics, because we focus on career tech because that's what we're known for.
Sure.
We still have English, we still have math. Talk about that.
Absolutely. So at our campuses, you're spending about half of your day in your lab or in the program that you choose to be in. And the other half of the day, you're taking your 4 STEM classes. So you're taking your English, your math, your social studies, and your science. And we do have different levels within that. Oftentimes we'll have the academics that will match closely related to the program that they're taking. For instance, the exercise science students are going to take anatomy and physiology to learn how the muscles and the bones and whatnot move and interact. And, our cosmetology students are taking chemistry because of learning how to use the chemicals and the hair dyes and the bleaches and whatnot. So those coordinate together.
Now, Jen, what if a student doesn't know which program they want to go into? So they might be interested in career tech into, your campus, Live Oaks, but they're not sure what and what.
Absolutely. So we offer a lot of different options. The first opportunity would be to come visit and tour the building during the sophomore visit days, which at Live Oaks, ours is on January the 24th. Those students get the opportunity to tour the building, and also they get to go into 2 programs and spend about 30 minutes in each of those programs to tour the lab, talk to the instructor, talk to some of the great students there to kind of find out a little bit about it. And then just a few days later, we have our open house, which is on January the 30th. That's for the parents and the families and whoever they want to bring with them. It's from 5 to 7 p.m. and they can tour the entire building. I always tell kids when I go out and do the presentations, that's your opportunity. You've got 2 hours. Go in and out of every program. Talk to the instructors. Just kind of do that vibe check and see what's gonna fit your personality, fit your future. Because this really is about what you want for your future. And it gives the parents the opportunity to come in and really get to ask the question that they want answered, as far as like what kind of certifications are they going to get? What is it like? And like we kind of talked about before, I think a lot of times people are surprised when they walk in the door just how amazing, our buildings and our programs and our instructors really are. So just be able to set foot in and be able to speak to people. Oftentimes people's minds are changed immediately if they have any type of stereotype, thought process from the past, because it's not like that anymore.
I love that. It's one of my favorite adjectives talking about career tech is hands-on, right? Hands-on learning.
Yeah.
And what better way to understand hands-on learning and get your hands on some of the equipment in the labs and actually understand, like, you're not sure what you want to go into, go check out that lab and
Absolutely.
see if that's something that suits you. And we say pursue your passions, play to your strengths, discover your greatness.
Yeah.
Pursue your passions. What are you interested in? Play to your strengths. What are you good at? And
Right.
you find where those intersect, it's gold. You're gonna find happiness and a bright future and a bright career. And an additional question for you: how will students know if they've been accepted?
So we have, they have, with the application process, you use a username and password. So you're going to have access to be able to make changes to your application if you change your mind, or, and then also on that, you're going to be able to see your status of whether you've been accepted or waitlisted on there. But in addition to that, we send out letters and emails that will go out to tell you what your status is, whether you are accepted in your first program or possibly your second, or if you're on the wait list. And we always tell people, if during the first round in March, if you don't get in your first program and you get waitlisted, do not lose hope, because a lot of things change between March and when school starts in August. So just, play the waiting game.
Their minds, it's impossible.
I'm sorry.
Yes. As a high school students change their minds
Right.
sometimes. And then
Right.
you
No
never
way.
yeah. I always say, and like some of the toughest conversations I have in my role are with a family's disappointed. Oh, my son or daughter's on the wait list.
Yeah.
And it's always about emphasizing, look, we're going to try to find a pathway. Of course, we can't defy the laws of physics. We can't guarantee that every student's going to get in because there's limited space.
Right.
But we certainly do our best to accommodate the communities that we serve. The truth is, the career tech is quite popular, and some of these labs are uber popular. But like, I'll take welding, for instance. Welding and fabrication is a fantastic field to go into. And we know the labs get filled. We are doubling our welding capacity to campuses this coming fall. But welding is involved with lots of different programs in the high base that we have. So you learn some welding skills in other areas as well. Just a quick reminder to everyone out there, if you have questions, please put them in the chat. And again, Bill and Laura are on there answering questions, which we appreciate tremendously. But please drop those questions in the chat. You can use the hashtag AskGreatOaks on social media. We have another great video to show you. This is a student in our health tech program at Scarlet Oaks, Ananda. She is very dynamic and she has a very bright future. And I think you'll see that on full display in this quick video testimonial.
Health tech instantly boosts my head because ever since I was little, I always wanted to be in the nursing field. Sophomore year, we had Great Oaks administration come through and basically introduce us about Great Oaks campus. They were telling us all the benefits about it, and I just became instantly interested because I knew if I was to come to Great Oaks, it would help me boost my career for when I graduate high school. I get academic classes in the mornings, and then at the end I have my lab. And at my high school, I wouldn't be able to do any of that. Coming to Great Oaks, you don't know none of these people. It's all new people. It's different people from around different cities, everywhere. So coming into Great Oaks is just a breath of fresh air. I like being around everybody because they're positive, they help you. It's people with common interests. And already having these certifications, my CPR certification, my mental health, my STNA, and moving forward to get my full body medical assistant, I plan on getting my RN in there as well. When I graduate, I intend going to the military to become a traveling nurse in the Air Force. My uncle and my grandfather went in the military. I plan on doing it for the whole 20 years.
Pursue your passions. Play to your strengths.
Discover your greatness.
I could use some of her energy. She's tremendous, and I have every confidence that everything she said she's going to do in that video, she's going to do. Just fantastic energy, and look how much she's achieved so far in that program. So a very bright future for Ananda at the health tech program at Scarlet Oaks. I'd like to go to DJ now, our recent alum, and I'll say that like he's famous because if you look at the Great Oaks catalog, he's featured in here. That's how famous DJ is. He was from the construction technology program at our Diamond Oaks campus. That's when I met him. He was featured in a photo spread there in Cincinnati Magazine, and I remember you were doing a placement at the Cincinnati Zoo, doing construction work there. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what you're doing now with your career.
So I'm the same company that I started with when I went on placement. I am in the Local 2 Central Midwest Carpenters Union, and I'm having a great time. I'm about to be a third-year apprentice. So I guess Great Oaks is kind of like a pre-apprenticeship, and what I'm in now is a 4-year apprenticeship to become a journeyman carpenter.
That's fantastic. I love the fact that you're talking about your journey and use the term journeyman too. How did the hands-on learning in the construction tech program help you build the skills and confidence you needed for the industry that you're in now?
So it definitely helped a lot. Like I can remember the first day. I started in January at the Cincinnati Zoo, and my boss asked me to do some things, and I was able to do it. And it was a great feeling to have, just not being completely clueless on a job when there's a lot of stuff going on. So I was able to go in with a little more confidence than I would have if I just try to join because of course you could join, um, the construction crew, having not gone to Great Oaks, but it definitely helped a lot.
Yeah, when I walk into those labs and see that the students are actually building things, framing, and sometimes I'll get the question like, "Do you offer a plumbing program?" And the answer is not specifically. And what industry has told us, and this might be your experience, I'm not sure, DJ, but what the industry has told us, they want us to train generalists who know how to do lots of different things. And then once you have that sort of base knowledge of everything construction, then you can go and specialize in certain areas. Was that your experience?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Well, so what industry has told us is that we're trained generalists in construction. So you learn how to do lots of different things. And then once you're out in the field, you can focus on certain areas. So whether it's you're going into framing or masonry or plumbing, those are all things that you have the sort of building blocks in the program. Is that accurate?
Yeah, absolutely. Like with construction trades, it is almost endless. Like in the union, like there's so much you can do, which I found out about that going on a field trip. And there's a lot of cool field trips for all the individual labs. We went on a lot of really cool, and I actually found out about the union going to our local training center in Monroe, and there I could have been traveling. I could have been doing highway construction. Yeah, I could have been doing roofing. I could have been a cabinet maker. So I had a lot of options to choose from. Like if you want to travel, you can make a lot of money, but I just wanted to stay local to my area. So it's like, yeah, there's so much you can do. It's almost endless. It's
Well,
overwhelming actually. Like choosing what you want to do. Like there's so much.
when I was a kid, there's these choose your own adventure books, and every journey is unique, as we like to say. So thinking back just a couple of years ago when you were still a student, it wasn't that long ago. What was your typical day like at Great Oaks?
So my junior year, lab started in the morning, for the first half of the day, and then afterwards I would go to my academic classes. And then senior year, it's flip-flopped. You do your academics first, and then your lab at the end. And I just had a lot of fun. Um, I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted to do, but I did a lot of research, and I eventually decided to do the construction. And once I got in, I immediately just fell in love with it. So while I was there, I was just having a lot of fun. And I will say, because I heard grades mentioned like going up, um, compared to like high school and going to Great Oaks, I had a really like high arc because I felt like I was actually working towards something I was interested in. Whereas in high school, I felt no purpose really of being there. Um, but as Diamond Oaks, it's like I was just happy to be there, and I think just being at a place where you feel like you're actually working to something, just really makes you put a lot more effort into it.
And speaking sort of about the interactions, the culture of the campus, did you find it to be supportive? What was your relationship like with your lab instructor? Just trying to paint a picture for a prospective student. What is it like on campus?
I had zero problems with the teachers, and any questions I had, they were really good on helping me. And one thing I love is the instructors are all they were they're what's the word I'm looking for?
From industry.
Yeah,
right?
So they have a lot of connections. Like my teacher actually pointed me to the company I work for now, and he could really help me with certain things. If anything I had questions on, he was able to answer because he's not just reading from a book. He knows what's going on. So they were super helpful. Any questions I had, they answered. Um, Yeah.
I think those relationships are really key, and really, really important. I want to go back to Jen because we do have a few new career programs that are getting launched. So brand new. We don't have any current students to show because we don't have students in these programs yet. But you talked a little bit about those new programs that are coming up, and well, just what those opportunities might look like.
Absolutely. So the new program that's coming to Live Oaks is Park and Recreation Management, which seems like it's going to be a really cool program. If you're into everything that's green in the environment, that's going to be a great program.
Contrary to popular belief, it is not being taught by Amy Poehler. I keep hearing rumor, and it is not true. So unequivocally, I'm stating on YouTube that we love Amy Poehler, but she is not teaching the Park and Recreation.
I have to always make sure that I don't say parks and recreations. So park and recreation management. I think the really cool thing about that is that there is a business management component to that program. But they're going to it's also cross curricular. So they're going to do some things with like heavy equipment. They're going to learn how to operate a chainsaw. They're going to have some do some stuff with agriculture and learning about different types of trees and soil and whatnot, but also they're going to be able to do pesticide work and just building things like construction, like fences and whatnot. So it's going to be a lot of outdoors activities and just a lot of just different types of things. I feel like it's going to dabble in a lot of different things so kids can kind of figure out where they want to go in that type of environment. And then
beautiful parks in the area, the Cincinnati Nature Center, Green Acres. There's so many opportunities to manage these beautiful spaces, and it does require knowledge of trees and horticulture and animals. It's also part of this program, and light construction, and they'll be building and beautifying trails and the like. I think it's going to be a really interesting program for any student who likes to be outside, especially. And we've got another new program coming up to our Laurel Oaks campus. Is that correct?
Yes. So that one is Alternative Electric Vehicle Technician. So I wanted to make sure I looked off the catalog to make sure I said the right thing.
It's a mouthful.
It is. So that one's going to be, it seems like it's going to be really, really cool. Again, just referring to that catalog, just the things that I was reading through those, because it's obviously not my campus, but I'm kind of explaining what they do. If you think about like the electric vehicles and the different types of vehicles, you're talking about, it's not just a vehicle. I mean, it's scooters, it's forklifts and even semi trucks that they're going to be able.
Electric vehicles are everywhere. I think is why they're using alternative, because we think, oh, it's a Tesla. It's a lot more than that.
Oh, absolutely.
And think about like a lot of warehouses use all electric because it's cleaner air inside. You don't have any diesel exhaust. So there's so many jobs available in this particular field, which is absolutely exploding. And there's a brand new battery plant going in with LG and Honda in Fayette County. It is a huge growing field. This is a program that is directly informed by industry need. So Alternative Electric Vehicle Technician program at Laurel Oaks with a brand new building too, and a nice thanks to a grant from the state. So Bill Davis is our career specialist up at Laurel Oaks, and I think he's eagerly anticipating applications there. And we don't have a building to show you yet because it's under construction, but I think it's going to be a pretty wonderful facility. There's a question that came through Snapchat, and we touched on this a little bit earlier, but it was someone who was interested in a program, but it's not at their closest campus location. So what's the process there?
What I would say is speak to their counselor at their school and also speak to one of the career specialists. Most of our campuses and most of our schools are able to get transportation figured out for students. Sometimes it takes a little bit of work. There are a couple instances where, if you're over on the west side, that you might not be able to make it to Laurel in time with the shuttle. So it's always best to talk to, your counselor and your career specialist to find out. But, if you think about some schools that would feed into my school, like even I've got students from West Claremont that sometimes will choose to go to Scarlett. So they just have to take get to their home school, whichever way they would normally get there, whether they ride a bus to their school or they drive to their school, and then they're able to take a bus to one campus and then shuttle over to another. So again, the best way would just be to talk to their counselor or call a career specialist.
We do a fair number of students who drive themselves, and we
yes.
We have free parking on all of our
Yes, free parking and plenty of parking. That's what I always tell people. If you can drive, then we've got room for you.
So I wanted to show another a final testimonial video. This is McKinley. She's a student in welding at our Laurel Oaks campus, and I love McKinley's story as well. Let's hear from her.
Welding is its own creation. It's a mix of gases and metal, sparks, and fire. I needed a change from my home school. I came here and visited my sophomore year, and I visited cosmetology and welding. Welding was my first, and then cosmetology was my second. I got into welding. Everyone works very, very hard, and they're super nice, super sweet, super kind. Everyone's someone that you definitely want to be around in the workplace. Nobody's really judgmental here, and that's really nice. There's many placement options that you can do. You can work in a fab shop, TIG welding, you can do MIG welding, stick. It really just depends on what you want to do and what jobs you can find. There are many opportunities. Everyone's in demand for welders and fabricators. I go back to my home school and I still do volleyball, bowling, golf, track and field. Sometimes I even play in the band. Every day I'm learning hands-on, and that's great for me because that's how I learn. I love Great Oaks because I've made so many great friends, and every day I come in here and I'm ready to work. I'm excited to work, and I can't wait to see where I go from here.
Pursue your passions. Play to your strengths.
Discover your greatness.
We can't wait to see where McKinley goes as well, but I think the sky's the limit. As we're approaching the end of our time together, I want to go back to Xavier for a moment. Mentioned earlier, the idea of wanting to go into becoming a physical therapist. Am I remembering that correctly, Xavier? Physical therapy was where you wanted to land? Yes. So did you know you wanted to go into physical therapy before visiting Great Oaks, or was that something that helped being in the program help guide you in that direction?
No, I ain't know what I wanted to do. I just used to just learn stuff, and I was just like, man, I would rather do this than anything else. And it was just like kind of fun, so I just said I want to do that.
And I say that, again, every journey is unique. So we have some students who come in like laser focused. I know exactly what I want to do. I know which program I want to be in. We have other students like Xavier who are going to explore a little bit and try out some different things and visit some different labs and found an area of great interest that has become a career focus. I just love that story, and I just wish you all the success in the world. I think that it's really exciting what you're doing in the direction, and you've got support from your mom, and that's also fantastic. I want to go to Kyle for a moment. Kyle, how do you see students grow and transform during the 2 years with you in the culinary program at Diamond?
You see a tremendous growth. It's actually interesting, but it's rewarding as well. Because when you see them come in as juniors, it's almost like they're freshmen. And so they're naive, they're ignorant to what's going on, the scene. And then when they begin to get comfortable and then they start blooming, they get acclimated to the surroundings. Then when you see them physically starting to change, and then mentally, those that might struggle their junior year and, they return their senior year, and you see that maturity that took place over the summer, just those few months. And now they're ready to, take hold. Chef, I want to go on placement. Chef, what do we need to do? Chef, I went here. I traveled here. I did this. And so with that enthusiasm and keeping them encouraged, you definitely go with that momentum. So, yeah, you see a lot of growth. And then when it comes time for graduation, it's rewarding. For some, it's never sad for me because I've been doing it long enough, but it's one of those like, hey, you're getting ready to go to the next level. That's what we've been preparing for. But for them, their lens to you is totally different, right? They're looking like, man, you know, I got to go into the world. I won't see you anymore. It's like, no, we'll stay in contact. We'll keep the relationship. But you see that growth from, if you will, kids to young adults and then into young professionals.
Parents, I hope, who are tuned in, I hope hearing these perspectives is giving you some real insights and instilling some confidence in what Great Oaks and career technical education has to offer. I'd like to go to that next steps slide again and just remind everyone that applications are open until, well, applications remain open for a while, but February 4th is an important date. So don't want you to forget that, 11:59 p.m. on February 4th for consideration for that first choice program. That is very, very important. You also see the dates there and times for the open houses on all 4 campuses. You can look and see which programs you're most interested in. I mean, most students will gravitate toward the campus that is closest to their home affiliate school, but that's not always the case. So have a look at those lists. And, you know, you're always welcome to reach out to our career specialists ahead of time if you have any questions. You know, your counselors at your high school are also wonderful resources. But I know that you've heard from Jen tonight, and if those folks on the chat from Bill and Laura, and we also have Abby at Scarlet Oaks. They are all here to help guide you, and the parents and prospective students through this process. And we are just really appreciative of all of the panelists' time tonight. An extra big thanks to all of them. This has been recorded, so you can go back and watch again. If there's anything you missed or had to step away during any time, we'll make this available as a resource for you. This is a great resource, but I do want to emphasize the importance of coming to campus and seeing it firsthand. That hands-on experience is really, really important. Again, we are accepting applications. If you're ready to fill out an application tonight, the application is available. But just remember, by February 4th, 11:59 p.m. is crucial in getting into that into the consideration for that top choice program. Be sure to visit our social media sites to learn more about applying. We share lots of great stories through social media, things going on around our campuses, and we use the hashtag Discover Your Greatness. And I want to thank our panelists again. Fantastic. We loved hearing from a current instructor and alum, a recent alum, a mom, a current student, and of course our career specialist, Jen. All really gave very valuable insights. It makes my job a lot easier. I am really honored to work for Great Oaks. This is a wonderful organization, does a lot for the community, and we look forward to serving the region and developing the workforce of the future. So thank you again for your kind attention this evening. We look forward to having more interactions in the near future. And with that, I bid you good night and farewell for now.